ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dylan, and welcome to Dylan the Truth podcast. If you guys are new to this channel, I'd like you guys to subscribe to this and also hit that like button. Deeply appreciated. Um, First off, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. This is my first segment of 2023, and I hope everyone had a Happy New Year. Let's get into the topic. It's a hot one. This is about uh, Damar Hamlin, who collapsed on the football field. I'll just give like a quick rundown of what happened um, during that game. It seemed like when he made the tackle, he got really hit on the chest pretty hard, and he was on the ground. He got back up, seemed like he was fine, and then he collapsed. And everybody was scared. It was a scary sight. Um, I mean, it was unfortunate. I don't think that ever happened in a football game or any sporting event. I can't think of. But it was really disturbing to watch. You know, he actually died on the field, but they CPR wind up reviving him, and he's still alive to this day. Thank God for that. That would have been unfortunate. But we did hear some good news that he's responding. He's actually talking to some of his teammates, and which is good. And that's always a good news to hear concerning somebody like who was fighting for their life on the field. With him, Damar Hamlin, I mean, he had to work for everything that he got. Obviously he's a safety for the Buffalo Bills. He attended the University of Pittsburgh. So, I mean, he wasn't really highly recruited. He was in the sixth round pick. I think he was picked 212. So once you're in the sixth round, that means you have to work extremely hard to stay into the league. Because, not to say that no other players actually work hard, but when you're in the sixth round, there's a reason why you're in the sixth round. They don't think that you can make it to the league, but they don't look at you as the elite. So you have to put in the extra work. And obviously that wasn't given to him. He earned it. So that's just a little background on him. The controversy started to happen during the game after Skip Bayless' tweet. Skip Bayless, I mean, he's always been this way. In case you guys don't know who Skip Bayless is, Skip Bayless is a journalist, and he covers the sports like football, NBA, baseball. He's on a show called Undisputed with him and Shannon Sharp. It's a debate show. They go back and forth. The topics are normally about LeBron, the Cowboys, Tom Brady, the Lakers, a couple other things, but those are like their main topics. But Skip put out like a tweet during the game, which had everybody in an uproar. So I just want to read out the tweet really quickly. He said, no doubt that the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game, but how? This late in the season? A game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems irrelevant. I mean, clearly he doesn't give a damn about the guy's health, because why would you tweet something like that? This is bigger than the game. Like, this is a human being that was fighting for his life. Like, the dude, like, literally died on the field. And thank God for the CPR. They revived him. And here goes Skip again, putting out tweets like this. Then I think the second tweet was like basically trying to apologize for what he posts on his first tweet. You know, Obviously trying to save his job. He doesn't want to get in trouble, anything like that. He doesn't really give a damn about the player, collapsing on the field. This is ridiculous. Like, that's just insane. But I mean, that was on Monday night. Tuesday, he was on the show Undisputed, and he basically gave like this half-ass apology to Damar Hamlin and his family, talking about the tweet that he put out wasn't meant the way it came out. You made it crystal clear. I mean, it's not rocket science. You more cared about the outcome of the game instead of a human being. That's your stance. And if you notice, on that show, on that Tuesday episode, Shannon Sharp wasn't on the panel. So everybody was like, maybe it's because of the tweet that Skip put out. And I was one of them as well, because I was like, Shannon usually doesn't miss work unless it's like an emergency, but we knew it had everything to do with that tweet. So then Shannon Sharp came back on the Wednesday, and then he addressed, people are making rumors about, the reason why he didn't show up on Tuesday. So he came out and, he said what he said. And I think he said something about telling Skip that, telling the audience that he wished Skip takes down the tweet. Skip interrupts him and basically says, I'm not going to take down the tweet. I stand by what I said. I mean, come on, Skip. That's being very insensitive. Like, the man almost lost his life. And you'll still keep that tweet, but, you'll do anything to keep the ratings going. That's just how Skip is. Skip has always been a controversial guy. So I'm not surprised that, he said that he would keep that. So you could tell in that segment that Shannon was just like fed up with him. Like, every time Shannon says something, Skip keeps cutting him off. And, Shannon just had about enough of it. I think he said something, if I'm not mistaken, I would have to pull it up. Let me see. Yeah, it's basically like it's an ongoing thing between these two. He said that I can't even get through my monologue without you interrupting me. Because every single time Shannon Sharp says something, Skip always, like talking over him or making some kind of sound while he's speaking. That's just rude. Like, the whole point of a debate show is to let somebody express what their opinion is about, and then you will have your chance to rebuttal. That's what a whole debate is about. But Skip is very childish. Now, mind you, Skip is 71 years old. Yeah, it's really childish for his age. And, I mean, it is what it is. But now, the tension between Shannon and Skip Bayless, this was brewing for the past couple years. If you notice, I came up with like a list, and this started to happen like in 2020. We started to see that Shannon was, it's kind of he had a low tolerance for Skip Bayless. So on August 24th, 2020, um, I think that the segment was about Luka Doncic hitting a game winner against Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs. Dallas Mavericks beating the Clippers 135 to 133. Luka Doncic hit the game winning three, and I guess the moderator asked Shannon like what was the reason for why they won, and then I believe he said something. Shannon basically said that they couldn't stop Luka, and then he was trying to get to his point of why they couldn't stop Luka. Excuse me. And then Skip kept cutting him off, kept interrupting him, and then Shannon was just like, "Okay, you know what? I'm trying to make a point, and you here cutting me off." You could see Shannon's heated. That's one example. The second example, October 2nd, 2020. This was a segment about Kyrie Irving saying that Kevin Durant is the only guy that he has played with, his only teammate that he's played with, that he could trust in a clutch situation, like taking a clutch shot. And, I guess Shannon was trying to make a point once again. Skip Bayless cuts him off. And then, Shannon Sharp made a remark to him, basically saying, "Oh, okay, President Trump, are you gonna let me talk? Are you gonna let me talk?" So obviously Skip didn't like the comparison, but everyone knows how Donald Trump was when he was a president. Like he has this tendency of like when somebody's speaking, he loves to talk over them and he doesn't let them, address their point. That's just rude. So obviously that happened. Third incident. It was January 24th, 2022. It was about the playoff game last season in NFL when the Rams beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was 30-27. They end up winning with a game-winning field goal. And obviously, Tom Brady is Skip Bayless' like favorite athlete. Like Skip Bayless worship the ground that guy walks on. So obviously, Shannon's always gonna take shots at him as far as like with Tom Brady because that's his guy. And he was saying something, and then Skip has this way where he doesn't like when people interrupt him, but he can interrupt them when they're speaking. So when Shannon did it to him, he was like, "Yo, it's my turn." Like he was so childish. I was like, "Oh my god, wow." I mean, it's no fun when the rabbit has a gun, right? But Skip is Skip. Fourth example, October 17, 2022. I think this was the game where the Eagles beat the Cowboys. What was the score? 26-17. And the Dallas Cowboys is a team that Skip Bayless supports, and he really likes the Cowboys. Obviously, when the Cowboys lose, Shannon always has a kick out of it. He always gloats, and it's all in good humor. And Skip didn't like that. I guess when Shannon was trying to make the point of what happened, why Cowboys collapsed towards the end, you would have to like look up the video, but you could see when Shannon was speaking, it sounded like Skip Bayless was making this grunt sound, like, oh, 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 oh. I'm like, why would you make that sound when somebody's speaking? Like, what is wrong with you? I mean, dude, you've been doing this for like over 30 years or however long you were doing it. You don't do that, man. Like, come on, let the man, express his thoughts, and don't interrupt the guy. And Shannon, like, once again, had enough of that. And then another one would be, it was actually not too long ago. It was the last month, December 12th, 2022. This is when people really started to notice there was some tension between Skip and Shannon Sharp. So this segment was about the San Francisco 49ers blowing out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which Tampa Bay is the team where Tom Brady plays for. So obviously Shannon is always gonna, poke fun of whoever Skip Bayless is supporting. Um, but the thing with Shannon Sharp, he keeps it strictly business. Like, he's not trying to attack you personally. So he was basically just talking about how bad Tom Brady's been playing this season. Skip Bayless took this to a whole nother level. He got personal. So he's basically saying how uh, Tom Brady is better than you. Like, I'm quoting him. Tom Brady is better than you at 45 when you had to retire at 35. And I was like, wow, where did that come from? And then, obviously, Shannon Sharp had to come back and talk about his credentials. And he was like, I'm in the effing Hall of Fame. I'm a 3-time Super Bowl champion. And while he's saying this, Skip Bayless is just, his answer is like, so. It's like, wow, that's so disrespectful. Like, you're making it seem like this guy's like a bum, like he doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy was a former NFL player. If anything, he knows the ins and outs of the game. So why would Skip try to question anything that he's saying? Like, it's a joke, So, I mean, and then obviously you could see that Shannon was really heated. He even asked Skip, like, yo, you would take a personal shot at me to defend Tom Brady. And Skip rebuttal was, yes, I will, I will defend him against anybody because you're being disrespectful. And then, obviously that just told you what it is between the two, because it doesn't matter how much, you you try to be nice to somebody, or you try to get along with that person, you could just tell how that person feels about you. And everybody started to see that's where it was like, okay, this could be like the nail in the coffin when that happened. Because what Skip Bayless is basically showing Shannon is that, I'm the guy. This is technically my show. I was the one that brought you on. You know, like, it's kind of like you're beneath me. Like, you can't talk to me type attitude. So, I mean, if we want to be honest, with the show Undisputed, without Shannon Sharp, there's no show. Period. Because Skip Bayless, if you notice, if you've been following his career, he always needs a counterpart. He can't hold a show by himself. If he has to hold a show by himself, his ratings are going to go down. Nobody's going to be interested to listen to him. So he needs somebody to be like the guy that challenged him on a debate. And, obviously Shannon is the one that's holding down that show. Everybody, he's known for being very entertaining. He gives great analysis on the games. He could break, especially in NFL, because that's his sport. And he also can break down what goes on in NBA as well. Like, he has a great knowledge of the game. So you can't question what he knows. Like, he's really on his P's and Q's when it comes to that. So for Skip Bayless to come out and say that to him and disrespect him, to me, I believe, like, we're looking at the end of this show, like Undisputed, between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. But you could just tell that that chemistry's not there. Like, it seems like it's being forced. It's like Shannon is trying to get past that, but you could just see, you know, the, the constant disrespect that Shannon has to take. And but also too, in other ways, you have to look at it this way too. Shannon Sharp was always the one that's so quick to defend Skip Bayless, right? When he would say some crazy things, maybe on Twitter or maybe on the show itself, and he would defend him, or he would try to give him a pass on something. But this is what happens, right? You keep giving him a pass and stuff like that, and look at how he treats you. Look at how he looks at you on the show. That's what I'm saying. You can't always defend these guys. Like, you look at Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is like your typical white privileged man. You know, he feels like he's better than everybody else. He feels like he knows more than anybody when it comes to like sports, which clearly he doesn't. He doesn't. He's not. He was never like an athlete. So you're gonna question a guy who's been in the league for how many years? He knows everything that pretty much goes down in the locker room, which you don't. There's nuance to the game that he would know that you won't know. So I mean, it was just it was something that this was brewing for like a couple years, and I feel like this show is really gonna be coming to an end. I believe Shannon should just get his own show. I mean, he could hold his own because he's very entertaining, and for somebody that's a journalist or analyst, broadcaster, I mean, you gotta captivate the crowd or your audience. And Shannon Sharp has no problem doing that. He could go to any show, he could hold his own show, he'll be fine. Skip Bayless, on the other end, needs another, like, he needs somebody across from him to debate, to hold the show down. Like I said not too long ago. So, if I'm Shannon Sharp, I would consider doing my own show. And that's that. Um, I would just leave it at that. But the most important thing is that Damar Hamlin is doing fine. That's what it was really about. But then Skip had to, take it to a whole nother level like he always does. It's just typical Skip Bayless. But I'm just happy to hear that Damar Hamlin's doing well. That's the most important thing. So I will leave it at that. I would like to thank all you guys for tuning in. Until the next time, peace.